Hi everybody, welcome to Ask Mark, our scuba diving Q&A, where I, a former dive instructor, do my very best to answer your scuba diving questions. So if you do have any scuba diving questions, pop them down in the comment section underneath this video, and if you use the Ask Mark hashtag in your comment, it gets yourself and your question featured in an up and coming video. But in the meantime, I do actually type out a answer in the comment section, so you do get an answer before long. You don't have to wait for the video to come out. But today I'm answering a question from DrDorkin about beginner backplate and wing systems. So DrDorkin says, love the videos. What would your recommendations be for a beginner backplate wing? So you have a couple of choices when it comes to backplate and wing systems. You can mix and match. You can shop around and buy all of the separate parts and then kind of assemble it yourself, and in a lot of cases the parts will fit. They're fairly universal. There are some outliers where it can get a little bit muddy, but in a lot of cases it does tend to fit. Or you can find complete sets that are basically fully assembled either by the manufacturer or your dive center, or at least it is a bag that contains everything that you need. All you need to do is either adjust it or just assemble it yourself. And which you end up going down is kind of up to you. When you're starting out, I usually recommend that you start off with those like assembled sets, just because you know that you've got everything, you know that it's all going to be compatible, and then you can like adjust it. So you can take the wing off and then attach a twin wing or something. So basically there are three components to a backplate wing setup. You get the backplate itself, you get the harness, and you get the wing. And each of those three components are kind of interchangeable, or you can swap one out for a different one, and you can upgrade and change things. So with the backplate is like the foundation that holds everything together, and which one you end up going for depends on like what you're using the BCD for. So the standard ones are aluminium and stainless steel. So aluminium is nice and lightweight, so it's good for travel. Stainless steel is heavy, and because it's quite close, or very close to your back, it basically acts as trim weight, so you don't need to add quite as much lead onto your weight belt. It's kind of built into your BCD. But because it's heavy, it's quite hard to travel with. And with aluminium, if you're diving at home, it's not really helping to adjust your buoyancy, so you do need to add that additional lead onto your weight belt. So depending on whether you're traveling or whether you're diving at home. You also get some unusual outliers. You get like carbon fiber, which is very lightweight. I've seen titanium before, but I think that was a bit more custom, and I think that's pretty pricey. Otherwise, there are just like material which are incredibly light, but you don't have the same rigidity that you do with a literal plate of metal. So first kind of choose that. Most like sets as well, if you look at like X-Deep's website, and they list all of the different sets that they do, the Zen and the Ghost and the Project, they have weird names, but they have an aluminium version and they have a stainless steel version. So depending on whether you need that trim weight or whether you want it for lighter travel. Then you're looking at the harness. Most harnesses are just 2-inch webbing, and it depends how many breaks in the harness. Now a break is anywhere where there's a clip or a literal end to the webbing. So they range from, Scuba Pro call it a pure harness. Otherwise, if you look online, most people will call it like a Hogarthian or a DIR setup. And it's just a single piece of 2-inch webbing that starts as your waistband. It goes through the back plate, and then it becomes your shoulder strap. Then it goes back to the back plate, across your shoulders, another shoulder strap. It continues through and becomes the other end of your waistband. So it's all a single piece of webbing, so it's very strong and there are no failure points. So those buckles, if something on that webbing harness is going to break, chances are it's going to be the clip. So some divers prefer to be really Spartan and just keep it as the webbing, so that way there's as little to fail as possible. But it does make it really hard to get in and out of it because there's no adjustment in it at all. Then you get like the middle range, which is 2-inch webbing harness, but you do have either 1 or 2 like traditional pinch clip adjustment straps, so you can adjust the shoulder straps on the go. If you're changing from like a dry suit to a wet suit or something, that's always quite beneficial because adjusting it is quick and easy, and it's very easy to get in and out of it all by yourself. You don't have to do weird yoga poses trying to get into your back plate. And then you get, I tend to call them more like recreational or rec tech, because it's basically a recreational BCD, but just like the harness bit, and then you just like attach that onto your back plate. So you don't get the same adjustment, because with the other two you can move and adjust D-rings and fit hardware kind of where you want it to, whereas in that like recreational harness style, it's very much fixed, it's sewn in place, and it comes in those different sizes like small, medium, large, and it is just, I just find it a bit limiting. So most divers end up with like either the pure harness or a slight adjust harness. But with that, yeah, you can pick and choose. You can add extra hardware like D-rings and things to clip things off onto it, quick release buckles on the waistband, little integrated weights. You can pick and choose and kind of fit things at a later date if you choose to. The wing itself, you then choose whether you want a single wing for single cylinders or a twin wing for diving twin cylinders. And they don't really mix over. There's no unicorn. We get asked this all the time, whether there's one wing that will do both singles and twins. I mean, there are wings that will do it, but they won't do it well. It is really not what they're designed for. You get single wings for single cylinders and twin wings for twin cylinders, and just leave it at that is my usual recommendation. The size and the like internal buoyancy, yeah, it is kind of up to the weight and the buoyancy of your gear, so that's quite a long question. But if you have a look at like Morris XR do complete sets, they're quite good. I do like them, and they're usually aluminium as well, so they're good for the traveling diver. And then if you wanted to, you can just take that wing off and then fit a twin wing onto the back and then dive twins. X-Deep, I mentioned them, the Zen, I really like. Both of those come fully assembled from the manufacturer, so all you have to do is just adjust and tighten the straps to then take it scuba diving. But they have everything that you need in the box to get going, and then at a later date you can just add and change things on it if you want to. Those are my two like usual go-to recommendations. And between the two, personally, I'd go for the X-Deep. I do just like X-Deep dive gear. With the Zen especially, the way that they've changed the design of their harness that goes into the back plate, yeah, it is just much more, you basically get larger shoulder straps, so it's easy to get into it, and then when you do up that waistband, it clamps it all in place, so it holds it in position. So yeah, I'd look at the X-Deep Zen. Yeah, when you're looking to get your first backplate and wing system, it can feel a bit daunting, because yeah, you can get all the separate component parts and you can assemble it all yourself. And in some circumstances, you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper that way. But still, if it's only like €5 or £5 cheaper, then yeah, no, I'd rather just get the complete set. It's fully assembled. All you have to do is just adjust it a little bit. But a lot of the brands do have the complete sets for exactly this particular reason. When you're just starting out, you don't know if this is exactly compatible with that, so you just want to, I guess so, and you don't find out until you bought it and then, oh no, it doesn't fit together. Whereas if it's a complete set, yeah, of course, and in a lot of cases it comes fully assembled, so you just have to adjust it. But those would be my recommendations. X-Deep Zen definitely is a very, very popular set nowadays, and it's good for the traveling diver. They've really dialed it to 11 with that one and made it more comfortable and practical. So yeah, that's where I'd start my search. But any other questions, pop them down in the comment section underneath this video and use that #AskMark hashtag. It gets yourself and your question featured in an up and coming video. Otherwise, remember to head over to the website scubadivermag.com, check out all the awesome things that we do, check out our magazine. We've got 3 different magazines, one in America, one in like the UK and Europe, and then we have Australia, New Zealand as well. Otherwise, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.